talk about our favorite subject in education, data. So we live in a teacher world where if the data doesn't make sense, then we don't do it. So what are my data practices? Well, students monitor their progress on each level. So remember, I talked about my students work on a grid. That grid has levels. The levels get harder as you go up. So they monitor their levels or where they are in that level or where they are in the grid using a pacing tracker. My assessments are digital, so I get immediate feedback and I share that feedback with students. Again, my class is mastery based, so they have to achieve an 80% or higher on their mastery check. If they do, then they know they've moved on. They can go to the next level and they get a little message that says, "Congratulations, you've moved on to level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6." If they didn't, then they know that, hey, I have to do remediation with Miss Brown. And so what's good about that is when they come in the next day or whatever, they can look at the tracker if they've forgotten, and it's going to say, reassess, and they know to come to the teacher table or come to the teacher breakout room on Zoom. If it says, master, usually it'll say genius or something like that, then they know that they have mastered that and they can go on to the next level. So I get most of my data from mastery checks. Like I said, those are digital. I use that to complete that pacing tracker, which will tell students whether they've mastered a particular concept or whether they are in need of remediation. This helps, like I say, facilitate that self-paced classroom where students come in, they look at the tracker says completed or done, they know that they can move on to the next activity. It says reassess or remediation, then they know to come to the teacher table. Same for my virtual students. As a student completes an activity, they put their name on the board, I call them up, we look at it. If it's satisfactory, then they update the tracker. If it's not, then they go back to the drawing board and keep working on it. If it's after school, students have left, I'll update the tracker myself. Why I like this data practice, again, is it keeps the class self-paced. It incorporates this collaboration. So essentially, students look at the tracker and they say, okay, student A is on the same assignment as me. I'll go and work with them. They can collaborate on activities unless, the grid says not to. It also is good if student A is struggling with activity 3 and they see that student G has already completed that, then they can go and say, hey, can you help me? Also on the tracker, some trackers I've created have the student can click help on the tracker. And if I don't get to them, a lot of times a student who's completed that will then go and help that student because they see that they need help. So it facilitates this collaboration, and I love that because students learn a lot better from each other than they do from us. Again, it helps with that mastery-based grading that I do because kids know already in my class, hey, 65 ain't gonna cut it. That might be a D, but not in my class. You're not gonna move on. And if you don't move on, you're getting Fs on the other things. They know, okay, I didn't achieve mastery, and that's the way they talk. Like, did I achieve mastery? Did I master that concept? And I like that. I like that they are already getting their mind set to, I can't just do anything and she'll take it. Then they know, like, they have a couple of options. They can choose to whether they want to work with me, whether they want to work with the classmate, or whether they want to go through the process again and watch the video a little more in depth, or read the materials that go along with the video, which might help them. Again, I also like that it leads to this kind of student teaching. And you'll notice that students will teach it to their classmates totally different than you would ever teach it. When I was teaching I keep using graphing. That was what we worked on a lot last term. But they were graphing supply and demand. And some of them really struggled. And some of them got it right off the bat. And so one of the levels, they learned how to student teach, so how to teach it to a classmate. And so you would see these kids sitting next to classmates and asking them questions. So why do you think that point goes there? Why would you plot that point right there? They wouldn't give them the answer. They would just ask them questions, and the kid would look at them and be like, well, maybe that's wrong. Oh, okay, I get it. No. And you would just hear them talking their classmates through it the way I would want them to. And it was just so profound. So hopefully you learned something in this video. Feel free to reach out via Instagram or Facebook and let me know. Bye.